updates from Nigeria's National Assembly. Thank you for joining us. I am Ada Oka. From the Senate, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the South-South Development Commission, SSDC, Ms. Osoro Akpabio, says the Commission's 2026 budget proposal signals a clear shift from groundwork to measurable and accountable execution of projects across the South-South region. Presenting the proposal before the Senate Committee on SSDC at the National Assembly, Ms. Akpabio explained that the budget marks a transition from institutional preparation to structured implementation focused on delivering tangible results. The session was presided over by Chairman of the Senate Committee on SSDC, Senator Benson Kombowe of Bayelsa Central, alongside Vice Chairman Senator Asoko Ekbenyon of Cross River South and other members of the committee.
It was a zero budget performance year for us, and just towards the end of the year, after our first budget proposal presentation to this committee, we were informed there was a memo in circulation that everybody should roll over their financial projections into 2026. So the budget office rolled our 140 billion grant 100% into 2026. So there was no releases for us, and it was 100% rollover into 2026. So what I presented to you last year is 100% or like almost similar to what I'm presenting to you this year. The only differences would be in financial projections when it comes to needs assessment because of fluctuation and inflation of monies. But for now, we haven't received any monies at the moment. We have done what is required of us from the budget office, and our monies are still under statutory allocations. Thank you, sir.
Summarily, before you present your 2026 budget, you were supposed to have given us an overview of what we discussed 2025. And whatever was said during the budget presentation, I think that is what we were waiting to hear from you. And so I wish that you tell us more about what 2025 stands in 2026. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I've looked at this budget. I'm sure you all have copies of it. And anybody who is conversant with where we come, Niger Delta, South-South, we know that the amount of money that is being allocated to this commission is quite small, knowing our situation. So I want to appeal that my MD also said that. I want to emphasize, said that, look, if it's possible for the committee to look at it and see how we can get an upward review, we'll be very grateful. Thank you, sir.
We will appreciate that. Insights that the MD has offered clearly shows that she knows where she's going and she knows what she is doing at the head of this commission. The roadmap appears quite impressive, and we'll do our oversights where there are concerns. We'll look at them, but majorly, I think this appears to be a clear roadmap, and I commend her.
I have been able to peruse through, although scantily, at what you have presented. I'm excited at the fact that all the regions, the states that comprise the regions, are being carried along.
Thank you, sir.
That would have been my concern. And having said that, I will assure you that this committee will do everything it can in support of these very lofty ideas.
Thank you, sir.
To make sure that the people that we serve in the region will feel the impact. And looking at the practicality of the projects itself, these are projects that actually directly affect the people.
Yes,
and that is what we're talking about. So I congratulate the team, and I pray that that this budget will be approved and the releases will come on time. It's not just approving, but that you will have the finance to do this work for our people. Thank you.
Thank you.
What we will do as a committee is to insist on a framework where releases are made so that you can execute your projects and drive your programs in the interest of the South-South. So it's not really the insertion, the money, the amounts, it's the sanctity or releases that we are very much concerned about, because you have a lot of work to do to drive the status of the South-South, accelerate the process of development. But as a committee, we'll do the best we can. But let me advise readily another major component, the need for your teamwork. So far, we are impressed by the unity amongst your ranks. We trust that unity will be sustained because it's very important that you work as a team. Avoid infighting amongst your ranks. Work as a team. Very, very key. Because even if we work and we get this money being released to you, where there's infighting, the very lofty dreams that drove the founding of the commission would have been lost. So it is important that you please continue to work as a team, avoid infighting among your ranks. Thank you.
I've just been briefed as to where we are and the plea of the commission with regards to appropriating more resources. Right now, I know that the appropriations meeting is about to start, the second leg of today's meeting. So I'll suggest that those of us who are members here should attend the appropriations committee meeting and make our input that the region requires these resources in order to develop. And they've been in office for almost 1 year with little or no resources. So that is going to be our discussion as we head up to the appropriations committee meeting. And tomorrow we have a finance committee meeting which has to do with the releases. We'll bring that up very strongly at the finance committee. So we have our work cut out for us. This is our role, this is our responsibility, and we'll pursue it.
For the release, let's also work for the increase, because if the release is now achieved, we will still go back to the same question that the money is still small. So let us work together for the increase and for the release. Me, I'll support increase because 140 is really, really small.
The total budget, which is lined to satisfy critical needs of the 6 states of the South-South. And we believe that what is embedded here is directly to meet the needs of the people. And so we will look at it also with our legislative eyes, and wherever omissions and contractions are available, we will be able to make corrections. So much have been said about your demand for increase of your budget, but I want to also support my very distinguished brother to say that whether the money is increased or the budget is increased or not, you have to tailor your mind towards what is available, the projections that have been given to you, and to ensure that you work within the confines of what is already in place, that you don't expect something that you have not seen, or you don't work with what you have not seen and start dreaming too big. So you have to ensure that you work within the enclave of what is provided and make sure your projects are meeting the needs of the people. On the area of infighting, I don't think there is any need for anybody to start fighting among yourselves where there is nothing. You are fighting over nothing. And so we are praying that all of you should put your wisdom and your expertise to come to bear, put everything into the table so that you'll be able to move in the same direction. No one person should be moving in a different direction when you are expected to move. Well, as Niger Deltans, people are thinking that we will always fight ourselves. But this is not the era of fighting. This is the era of wisdom. This is the era of cooperation, collaboration, and understanding. And so I believe that it is that wisdom that you will be driving with. Thank you very much. Having said so.
Still in the Senate, Managing Director of the Southeast Development Commission, SEDC, Mark Okoye, says the Commission's work is inspiring what he describes as a new patriotism in the Southeast, a region that has faced years of separatist tension linked to the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. Presenting the Commission's proposed 140 billion 2026 budget before the Senate committee, Okoye said a recent 4-day stakeholders engagement reflected renewed unity. According to him, about 14 known IPOB members attended and later expressed willingness to focus on regional development rather than secession. He added that the proposal aligns with the 2026 budget ceiling set by the federal government due to limited releases in the previous year.
There was proud patriotism driven by the unity that people saw at that event. What do I mean? I have a quick example, sir, and I can share that copy with everybody here. There were about 14 known IPOB members in the hall who, prior to that event, what they were saying was no retreat, no surrender. Biafra land, we only want this. The same people have done posts after attending that event for 4 days. And the response is, this is the first time I had the opportunity to contribute my own ideas to the development of Southeast Nigeria. No more Biafra land. Our role as SCDC, with your support, is not only infrastructure. We have to work on the minds of our people, orientation, get them to understand that what we are doing is for their own benefit and for their future. Second bucket is the optimistic skeptics. Some people are skeptical about a long-term plan, but they are optimistic about it, that this is the right way to go. The third is the youth. They say they like the tech idea, they like venture capital, they want fellowships, but they're waiting for it to start. The fourth bucket is the private sector and diaspora. 72 persons flew from the South America and UK to attend at their own cost. They asked us for tickets. We said, no, if you want to attend, you attend. And they came and participated. So them and the private sector, they're interested, ready to invest when the opportunities exist. And of course, there were outright skeptics, the 1 or 2% who said it's a jamboree and it's just a narrative.
However, some senators raised concerns over what they described as substantial allocations to consultancy, workshops, and security, urging the Commission to prioritize visible infrastructure and impactful projects.
What am I trying to say? I went through what your presentation, what we did. I want to appeal to you and your team. Let us dwell a lot on infrastructure. It will not augur well for you to go and spend a lot of money on conferences, investment promotion, $20 million, $15 billion, all those things, some of them are not realistic. I want to say it on record. You know I'm very close to some of you here. Let us talk of how a man in Bende, a man in Umunachi, Umudioka, a man in Ogo, a man in Agluzi Igbo can have a field of South Illumination Commission. Not issue of $20 million, $30 million, we are not interested though. Because why I'm saying so, sir, I will not support, sir, my dear chairman, I will not support Tomorrow they will say they spent billions on security. I saw here in your budget 3.5 billion regional security operation. If you look, the thing was not paged well. 2026 proposal, regional security 3.5 billion. And I saw another place 10.5 billion. Procurement of equipment, CCTV, drones, CCTV control infrastructure, 10.5 billion. Now we know that the governors, I'm not saying security is not important. Governors are chief security officers of their state. They have security funds. The federal government has a lot of money they are spending on security. So if you go to some of our schools, I don't want to play to the gallery. If you go to some of our primary schools, sir, even in Onitsha, I was born and bred in Onitsha. Let me use, for instance, our ladies' primary school Onitsha. Metropolitan Secondary School on the Onitsha, more than Secondary School on Onitsha, I'm renovating up to 8 now. So we found that I used Onitsha as a case study because Onitsha is a township. I don't want to talk about villages. You found out that some of our pupils and secondary students are schooling in a place you can't dream of, think of, even with that for their worst enemy. Our children are schooling in one of the best schools. My children are schooling in the private school, private and secondary school. They are paying a lot of money. None of them is primary school now. But don't how about the children of those people? I want South East Development Commission in their next budget, sir. Let us see here, primary school, secondary school renovation, rehabilitation, building. It would take 50 million, 100 million to do at least a primary school, a secondary school. So not issue of telling me consultancy, intervention, this one, that one, program, investment program, and all those things, sir. Because it will all go well that a man in the village, a man in Onitsha, the man in Uzuakoli will say through South Development Commission, they're able to renovate their school. They're able to, at least, it will be. The same things are applicable to hospitals. Most of our hospitals, if you go there, you will show that is an eyesore. So that my own view that let us have, as we are doing all those consultancy, let consultancy or investment promotion, all those, let it not take most of your money. Let us see tangible development. So that's my case. Thank you, sir.
And to say that I've listened to the young man make some presentation before. When you come to the oral prowess, I think you have it. But I'm an engineer. I believe in reality. I like practical things, and I like having result. You just got your money, and I'm surprised. I'm looking at the breakdown. I may not go into details, but all went into some things, project that you can't even feel. I'm not talking about renting your offices and furniture. That is basic. But not about conference engagement, stakeholder engagement, taking a whopping sum of 460 million. If we must succeed, you must handle this commission as your private company. Manage every fund, since you know it's a scarce resources, as your personal fund.
Power. If we are going to get power from the grid, then we need to sit down. Okay? What are we going to do about LOG? You know the state is not yet completed over about 10 years. Okay? This is an opportunity to focus on what we can do with it for the benefit of the region. We are the region that produces gas, but the pipelines go through other regions. You know that. Okay? But this is an opportunity for us to adjust ourselves very well.
Committee Chairman Senator Orji Uzokalo called for stronger collaboration within the Commission, stressing that the Southeast urgently needs interventions that citizens can see and feel.
You people should work together. You people should be as wise as my grandmother. Don't fight. Don't keep peace at all times. Be open to your fellow executive directors. Nobody here is giving you people pressure. The only pressure we are giving you, go and work for our people. Our people need your service. Nobody is disturbing you people for anything. We are supporting you people for what you are doing.
The SEDC is now seeking legislative backing for timely releases in 2026 to enable full execution of its programs. Now to the Green Chamber. Nigeria's renewable energy sector is under fresh scrutiny as the House of Representatives Committee on Renewable Energy summons the Managing Director of the Rural Electrification Agency, Abba Aliyu, for failing to appear at an investigative hearing. Committee Chairman Honorable Afam Ogene said the agency, which manages major investments and foreign grants in the sector, must account for the deployment of mini-grids, solar home systems, and other renewable interventions nationwide. He said that multiple invitations sent in November, December, and February were acknowledged but ignored. Honorable Ogene expressed concern over what he described as poor accountability and implementation gaps, citing abandoned solar installations and non-functional streetlights as examples of wasted public funds.
And when you talk about renewable energy, one agency comes to mind, the Rural Electrification Agency. And honorable colleagues, this agency is not represented here. We have written severally to this agency. Let me not go too far into last year, but I know that on December 10th, a letter was sent to them, duly acknowledged. No, even we have one for November 3rd, December 10th, and February 3rd. Yet, the Rural Electrification Agency, that should be the lead agency, where you talk in terms of investments and grants that have come into the sector, especially foreign grants. This is the agency that should speak to the Nigerian people and tell us where and where has these mini grids, solar home usage, and other forms where they have been deployed. But over time, they have neglected / refused to appear before this House and through this House to render account to the Nigerian people. Honorable colleagues, we are here seated at an investigative hearing. I want to leave the floor open to you to talk on this very important matter before we go into the issue of domiciliation.
The Rural Electrification Agency, incidentally, I belong to the committee of the House on that same agency. And I can say that what you're experiencing is what the committee is also experiencing. Quite unfortunately, I see somebody who says he's the MD or whatever for that agency. I see him on television, and I see him talk glowingly about what they are doing in the ministry. And like you have said, this agency is supposed to be the lead agency because we are talking about rural electrification. And what you still see till today is that they are not really applying what should be applicable in a rural setup, where ability to pay for high exorbitant electricity supply from the public space is expensive, they cannot afford it. They also live in the rural areas where they also do not have what it takes to buy diesel or petrol to power their generators. They are the poor of the poorest. And one will expect that when we're talking about renewable energy, that this agency should take the lead. I'm not also unaware that that agency is well funded or well budgeted for, whichever the case may be, by government. And now that this agency has also refused to partake in an investigative hearing that has to do particularly, majorly, with their setup, with their organization, with that agency, I will move that
this agency be summoned specifically. Since they are not able to appear here, we'll move that they be summoned to the House, to the floor of the House, so that they can come and answer the entire House why they have abandoned their responsibility and the core responsibility given to them by Nigerian government.
Honorable Shino, these various sums of money are not all grants. Some are loans and debts to be paid by the Nigerian public, including the $550 million World Bank loan. So several of them are loans hanging on the necks of the Nigerian people. We are done with the 550 million naira loan. The fresh one is for $750 million. And were it even to be a grant, we are a federation. This parliament has the powers to summon anybody and any institution to explain the use of public funds. Those funds do not belong to the executive, it does not belong to the legislature, neither does it belong to the judiciary. It belongs to the Nigerian people. And the Nigerian people are going to pay for it one way or the other. Now, motion moved and seconded. Those in favor of the motion as moved and seconded, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. Well, the ayes have it, and on this note, the Managing Director of the Rural Electrification Agency, Alhaji Abba Aliyu, and the Managing Director of the Nigerian Electricity Project, Femi Akinyeleru, should appear before this esteemed.
Declaring the hearing open, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, represented by Honorable Abdullahi Halims, said Parliament remains concerned about the economic impacts of inadequate electricity supply, particularly the high cost of generators for businesses and households. He noted that the Electricity Act 2023 provides a framework for integrating renewable energy into Nigeria's power mix. Also speaking, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, represented by the Director General of the Voice of Nigeria, Jibrin Baba, said government media platforms will support public enlightenment on renewable energy initiatives. He added that no solar streetlight contracts have been awarded by the agency so far.
It's an honor to be here to welcome you to this important national engagement, which is a time-honored legislative tradition. First, let me salute the dedication and commitment of the Chairman, Committee on Renewable Energy, Honorable Afam Victor Ogene, and members of the committee, as I welcome representatives of the ministries, departments, and agencies, development partners, members of the civil society, the media, and other stakeholders who are here to participate in this very process. The investigative hearing is mandated by the House leadership and vested with the authority of the House of Representatives and the National Assembly. Members will recall that on October 22, 2025, the House directed its Committee on Renewable Energy to investigate the domiciliation of green and renewable energy projects with appropriate entities across ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs. Part of its mandate is to assess compliance with due process, capacity standards, and statutory mandates, to identify instances of misplaced, mismanaged, or underperforming projects due to inappropriate domiciliation and recommend corrective measures and sanctions where necessary. Furthermore, the committee was mandated to investigate foreign grants and investment received in the renewable energy sector from 2015 to date and the utilization of renewable energy in MDAs. There is no doubt that the domiciliation of green and renewable energy projects with inappropriate MDAs has led to major implementation failures, poor execution, project abandonment, and sheer waste of public funds. Often, the absence of any clear delineation of responsibilities has resulted in duplication of efforts and undermined efforts to meet strategic national goals like the Energy Transition Plan and Nigeria's commitment to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 7. The National Assembly has always been concerned with the multidimensional economic implication of our historic power failures and the negative impact on businesses, living standards, and general well-being of the society. These concerns led to the replacement of the Energy Act of 2005 with the Electricity Act of 2023. The new law provides a holistic, integrated policy plan that democratizes the generation, transmission, and distribution of electricity, including the integration of renewable energy into Nigeria's energy mix. The global quest for safer, sustainable, and renewable energy on account of the glaring impact of carbon emissions from fossil fuels on our environment is one that we must embrace as a nation. The growing effects of global warming and climate change have had devastating effects on food and water security and sundry natural disasters. We see it daily in the flooding of farmlands and communities, the worsening water scarcity, and the growing desertification that is responsible for the frequent farmer heather crisis in our country. As a parliament, we understand the need to curb the twin menace of poor energy production and the impact of fossil fuels, which are the leading cause of global warming. In line with our legislative responsibilities, we are determined to facilitate a seamless transition to the renewable and sustainable energy mix. We have therefore taken deliberate steps to make renewable energy a core component of the Electricity Act, providing incentives to increase private and public sector investment in sustainable energy in order to boost our economy. Beyond establishing a legal framework to drive the process, however, the leadership of the 10th House of Representatives thought it necessary to create and empanel a committee specifically for this emerging sector in the power industry, to be known as the Committee on Renewable Energy. It is the first time such a committee was ever inaugurated in the history of the House and underscores our commitment to the pursuit of clean and sustainable energy sources. It also guarantees a close monitoring of the implementation of the Electricity Act and provide effective oversight over MDAs that are relevant to the success of the renewable energy sector. This investigative hearing is therefore critical to the process of determining factors that have militated against the growth of the sector through the misallocation of responsibility, misapplication of opportunities, and misappropriation of resources. The overriding motivation is to help actualize the government quest for sustainable solutions to our power problem. by creating the enabling environment for the diverse renewable energy resources available in Nigeria to thrive. A clear and effective administration of our renewable energy policy will encourage more investment in the sector, bridge the energy gap, increase productivity, and lead to shared prosperity as encapsulated in the renewed hope agenda of the President of the present administration. I encourage you all to embrace openness and transparency throughout this hearing. The goal is here: foster Nigeria economic development, which hinges on securing our energy future. Without energy security, our nation faces enduring economic challenges. I urge invited MDAs and stakeholders to view their participation as a patriotic contribution to national development, rather than an adversarial process. This fact-finding exercise aims to enhance systemic efficacy, uphold institutional integrity, and promote Nigerian progress. I hereby declare this public hearing open, wishing you productive deliberation. Thank you for your participation. These are the words of our right honorable speaker. Thank you.
The hearing is examining the domiciliation of green energy projects and foreign grants since 2015, as well as how renewable energy funds have been utilized across ministries, departments, and agencies.
Or even when you want to build awareness and new narrative around a particular issue, getting the buying in of the citizen and understanding of it requires the critical role of the media. And Mr. Chair, I think the role, some people may be surprised why the Ministry of Information and National Orientation is here. But every issue, the issue that you and the committee is looking at is an issue that is not just a national issue, but in line with global best practices. And to get the buy-in of all citizens, it also requires the appropriate narrative, appropriate gaining the right engagement and getting stakeholder buy-in to even understand first what is renewable energy. Why should Nigerians latch on this very important discussion that the committee is talking about? Having said that, Mr. Chair, second issue, as you are aware, Voice of Nigeria, which is one of the agencies under the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, has a transmitting station. Perhaps currently it has a rotating antenna that is the only surviving rotating antenna in Africa. It used to be Nigeria and Libya, and that of Libya was destroyed during the war. If you're coming from the airport, the facility is at Lube on the right-hand side. We have a farm, a solar farm, in our desire to transit, because currently, based on the support that we're getting from the President and Commander-in-Chief, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we are reactivating moribund transmitter, a DDRM 250 transmitter, and we're already looking at the sustainability and the future of it. And that is why we are trying to improve on that facility that we have. And thirdly, the entire ministry, based on the new directive and attention of the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, is to ensure that for particularly major platforms within the ministry, NTA, FRCN, Voice of Nigeria, NAN, News Agency of Nigeria, and all the other ARCON, NBC to survive, they require to latch on this renewable energy to be able to sustain not just offices, but the major platforms that they have. So with your kind permission, the chair, I think our major role here is to first identify with the committee and to offer, on behalf of Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, the platform of the ministry in helping to propagate, help in the advocacy on this very important issue that the committee is canvassing. Thank you, sir.
Because oftentimes where you see issues of executive legislature friction is as a result of communication gaps. I cited the example of the presidency. And if the House has mandated this committee to look at the implementation compliance level of ministries, departments, and agencies of government on the road to transition to renewable energy source for their power needs, then it behooves the Honorable Minister and his agencies to enlighten heads of MDAs that it is a road they ought to travel. That having been said, you would also, I'm not foreclosing contribution by my colleagues, but you also let the Honorable Minister know that this committee would like to know what he has done in his own ministry in that regard. And speaking for yourself as head of a parastatal, I thought you would also avail yourself the opportunity. This house is a house of the people. There is no sentence awaiting anybody who hasn't started. But we'd like to know what your plans are. If you are already on the high road to that transition, you should give us a status report. If you are not, what do you think about this executive initiative? Thank you. But before you answer, I don't know. Anyway, take this then.
Yeah, thank you, the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation. Identify with you and the entire committee on this important issue, national issue that you are looking at. Yeah, which is in line with global best practices. I also said earlier, Mr. Chair, that in particular, Voice of Nigeria, in the effort to transit or to deepen and make our own platform more sustainable, we have a solar farm in our facility in Lube. And the solar farm, the essence of the solar farm is to complement the power generation because transmitters require a lot of energy. And based on the reality on ground, we understand indeed the project was started under my predecessor, which we are sustaining and try to improve on. That is for our own facility at Lube. But even for the office, having been in saddle, what we have also looked at is that even to get our job done and to cut on energy resources, we are also transiting. We're also looking at possibility of having mini solar project within our offices so that we can work on a sustainable level. And each of the agency under the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, indeed, including the ministry itself, there are projects along that line to ensure that it is done. And even on sensitization, Mr. Chair, that is the reason why I'm here. The minister will appear himself, but like I mentioned to you, many of your colleagues are at the villa based on the activity that is going on. But the minister said, first I should come identify on his behalf with the committee, but also let you know what we are doing, and to say that all platform under the Ministry of Information and National Orientation is available to assist and partner with you in helping to propagate all the activity of the agency in creating awareness for all Nigerians about what you are doing and the need for not just MDAs, but indeed all Nigerians to latch on this, because you get instances of solar. We all have solar, even if you live in city or from one village or the other. And the point that you made about some of this solar, you all see it. So you are not just talking to those who are in the city, you are talking to all Nigeria, and not just to the MDs, but also to people who also supply this to ensure that where there are challenges, it is solved. So I want to assure you, Mr. Chair, on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, that we are here to listen, to take note, and to follow through whatever new measures you may come up with on how we can deepen whatever we're doing at our various agencies and the main ministry.
2024, this House of Representatives Committee on Safety Standards and Regulations held a conference which we coordinated. Orientation agency was there, they made a presentation. After that program, when we analyzed the program and came up with a communique, we were shocked to our marrows. When we approached orientation agency to say, look, you are the ones to disseminate information on government policies and generate feedback. And we've discovered that in the electricity sector, especially the safety angle, consumers don't know anything about it. Can we have an engagement where consumers will know this? We are told to go and look for money. That when we get the money, we use their names to do it. And we asked, who has the mandate of enlightening citizens? And who has the mandate of generating feedback? Because Nigerians are dying every day. Electrocution is happening. Houses are getting burnt. And the orientation agency has nothing on ground to prevent this by way of orientating the people and disseminating information. They say we should go to donor when they bring money. We have to abandon that project. Because the question is there no budget for enlightenment? Is there no budget for generating feedback? Because we felt that such engagement will enable them generate feedback from even the grassroots. Because you have orientation agency in every state of the federation. But that was abandoned, and we left that project. So what I'm saying, my message to you, sir, is that beyond asking the House, you have the platform. But what about generating feedback from the real consumers of these services? What about getting them to know the value of the renewable energy? I think it's important that we can meet with you if you don't mind. I'm the president of Association for Public Policy Analysis. We can sit down. Why will orientation agency push Nigerians to look for donors, to bring money for orientation of citizens, and to generate feedback on impact of government policies on the citizen?
But let me say that when we come to discuss issues of media and communication strategy, which shouldn't be emotion, no sentiment. What NOA asks you, they have not asked anything out of place. If you are willing to engage with us as public media institution, reach out to us. And I'm not sure if you will relate at the appropriate quarters, not under this Minister of Information and National Orientation. If you say before 2023, we cannot say anything about it. Hold on. We were all in the private sector before we also got to government, so please, if you are ready for engagement, reach out to us. For instance, if you check, there is no television station today where programs are not run on NOA program are not run. And there is nobody, no individual, no minister or department or agency will indicate willingness to partner with Voice of Nigeria that will say no, none. There are jingles that are run free, and you can bring it today. President, if you bring jingle today in English, we'll translate it for you in 700 languages, and it will be run. Because but if you, for instance, you are relating with NOA, and you have a program, for instance, in Enugu, they also require you have to do your own bit while they do their own. I'm not speaking for them. So there are certain things that you need to do. If they are deploying their men on ground where they have it, you also have to bring something to the table for them to be able to do this job.
In another development, House of Representatives Committee on Polytechnics and Other Higher Technical Education has expressed dissatisfaction over the low turnout at a budget defense session in Abuja. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Fuad Lagoda, said only 2 out of the 14 invited federal polytechnics attended, attributing the situation to logistic challenges and movement restriction linked to the FCT council elections. Although the rectors of Federal Polytechnic Nasarawa and Federal Polytechnic Ida were present, the committee could not proceed with their defense, leading to a postponement. Honorable Lagoda warned that the committee expects improved compliance when a new date is fixed, stressing lawmakers' displeasure over the institution's response. Meanwhile, the Executive Secretary of the National Board for Technical Education, Professor Idris Bugaje, appeared in person. His report was adopted as a working document, while further deliberations were held behind closed doors, pending additional submissions.
However, we would still want to note and resound that our displeasure at the attitude of the Federal Polytechnic with us. We invited 14 polytechnics here today, only 2 showed up. However, they came up with excuses, and the election that will be happening tomorrow in FCT, and for the non-movement of vehicles that's been declared from 8 p.m. till 6 p.m. tomorrow, which would hinder their return to base. We guess it's just an unforeseen circumstances that has made them not to be here today. So we hope that they've had a good excuse to lay back home today. We hope that when we readjourn and reconvene, we would have a fuller house.
And that wraps up today's edition of Nass Unplugged. I am Ada Oka. Thank you for watching.
ADBN, Advocate Broadcasting Network.
For your news on the go, ADBN is everywhere you are. Stay connected with us across all our social media and streaming platforms for exclusive news updates, captivating stories, and more. Join the ADBN community today via our various platforms. An Avo TV app, ADBN Channel 121, Niger TV app, ADBN TV, Linuxville TV app. To get the latest news straight to your phone, join our WhatsApp TV channel. Just search for ADBN TV and hit the follow button. Turn on your notification to stay updated and never miss any part of the experience. Stay in the conversation with us across social media handles. On X at ADBN TV. Instagram at ADBN TV, Facebook Facebook, ADBN TV, YouTube, ADBN TV. Keep visiting our website on www.adbntv.com. Watch us live anytime, anywhere. ADBN TV, a part of you.
Welcome to FCT in Focus, your window to the vibrant heartbeat of Nigeria's capital. We dive deep into the core of the FCT, exploring how key policies and decisions shape lives across the city. From exclusive insights into the FCT administration to voices from the streets, we bring you stories that matter. Catch FCT in Focus every Saturday and Sunday at noon. Tune in for the latest stories directly from the nation's hearts.
Welcome to the Niger Delta, a region of incredible beauty and stark contrast. From its breathtaking landscapes to its rich cultural heritage, this is a place where history and modernity collide. But beneath this serene surface lies a story of struggle and resilience. The Niger Delta is the lifeblood of Nigeria's economy, home to vast oil reserves that fuel the nation, yet it is a land where the people fight for their share of the wealth. Join us on the program Niger Delta Today as we explore the heart of the Niger Delta, discover the vibrant cultures, the struggles for environmental justice, and the stories of the people who call this place home. This is the Niger Delta, a land of contrast, a story of resilience, a journey of hope. Don't miss our exclusive series, Niger Delta Today, every day at 12 noon, only on ADBN TV. Witness the untold stories, experience the journey, be part of the change.
ADBN, Advocate Broadcasting Network.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. This is Niger Delta Today. My name is Xavier Robert. It's another terrific day to look at activities in the Niger Delta region. Today we step away from pipelines and politics and lean a little bit into something just as powerful, culture, because long before crude oil, the Niger Delta had a story, a trading story, a maritime story, a palm oil story, a civilizational story. Now that story is going digital. In Abuja, have Cherry News, stakeholders from government, diplomacy, and the creative sector have unveiled the Niger Delta Digital Museum, a technology-driven platform designed to preserve the region's history while positioning it for economic and global relevance. You would also recall that Nigeria and the European Union sometime in 2025 announced a 20 million euros cultural partnership aimed at strengthening museums, film festivals, and digital creative industries. So the question becomes, can culture, properly curated, digitized, and monetized, become the next development frontier for the Niger Delta region and for Nigeria at large? Myself and Jennifer Pius digging into this one. Jenny?
Indeed, and we're looking at how we can milk money from and for the Niger Delta region.
Finding a way to make people look away from the oil a bit.
Exactly.
I mean, that is all we hear about.
We've always been talking about so much of oil. If it's not oil theft, we're talking about exploitation, we're talking about exploring.
And don't forget that politics is just waiting at the corner.
I think we just need a breath of fresh air.
Absolutely.
Indeed, and this is coming just right on time. But maybe you can tell us about the tension in Edo.
Yeah, let's start on a story of interest, quite interesting. There's currently some tension in Edo State following reports of an alleged armed attack involving former presidential candidate Peter Obi, former national chairman of the APC, John Odigo Yegun, and leaders of the African Democratic Congress. Well, according to a statement issued by Dr. Yunusa Tanko of the Obedient Movement, the political figures were allegedly followed by armed men from the ADC Secretariat in Benin City to the residence of Chief Odigo Yegun during activities marking the formal declaration of Olumide Akpata into the ADC. Well, the statement claims shots were fired at the gate of the residence, vehicles were damaged, and the incident amounted to what was described as a survived assassination attempt. Photos and videos online show smashed windscreens and visible damage to property, further fueling public concern about political safety in the state. The Edo State government, however, has firmly denied any involvement. The administration of Governor Mondo Pebo described the allegations as false, malicious, and politically motivated. In a statement by the Chief Press Secretary, the government insisted that no directive was issued to any state agency to target any political figure It maintained that the governor's earlier remarks advising high-profile visitors to notify authorities ahead of major engagements were purely for security coordination. And the government also suggested that internal disagreements within the ADC may have contributed to tensions at the venue and warned against what it called attempts to overheat the polity. But with conflicting accounts emerging and political stakes rising, questions now center on what truly transpired, whether an independent investigation will be conducted, and of course how this incident could shape political relations in Edo State going forward. Later on in the program, we'll try to establish connections with the Commissioner for Information and Strategy in Edo State, Prince Kasim Febua, who will be speaking with us on some of these issues and bringing us indeed the true nature of things in Edo State and what really transpired. But Jennifer, this is a reminder of what happened some time back.
Exactly.
And this is the same narrative that came up. Allegations of it being politically motivated.
I'm just thinking through this particular incident, and I'm asking exactly what is between or what's behind this talk. We had this discussion of okay, I think that we can have some sound from this visual. Let's just hear a bit of that before we get to talk about it.
Former governor of this state, and you can see what happened in front of his house, where hoodlums came shooting. You can look at his gate and everything. Let's see the bullet holes. At his gate, you see the several cars damaged and everything. That is where our democracy has reached.
Well, if we're talking of this hitting the polity, this is a lot more than that. And I believe Edo, if we claim Edo is safe, why should we be having to talk about issues of this nature? And if this transpired as a result of some internal wranglings, we really do need answers, because there are people who live around these locations and individuals who are not involved in this political rivalry. And so those individuals are the ones affected. And we need to understand exactly what is going on with the people, and especially in that resident, what exactly is transpiring. We really need answers in that.
Well, Jennifer, when you look at, juxtapose the comments that have come in, both from the camp of the APC, which of course the state government as led by Governor Monday Okpebholo, and the ADC, and the remarks by Peter Obi, you would see that there's clearly a political rift between the two camps. And you'd also want to look at it from the angle of how this is a picture of what may transpire later on in the state as the 2027 elections lurk.
I believe we're all talking of a safe place. We're all talking of a safe country. We're all talking of a safe state, a safe Niger Delta. And if we're having to look at having elections coming soon, it means that we'll be having different political parties going for different campaigns, going for different visitations into different places. And whatever disagreement or non-alignment these political parties should have, that should not in any way hamper the safety of others. It shouldn't affect the security of other people. Whatever disagreement you have between you and your opponent or political allies, you should sort that out on your own without having to bring in the safety of the people into jeopardy. This is people we're looking at here. And to look at bullets, I don't know how this sits with me, but this doesn't sit with me in any way good. But I believe that whatever is happening should be sorted out, and that should not be extended. And if we're also looking at, okay, I think there are some reactions here. This is Nature's Pharmacy in your kitchen. Okay, terrible. An attack on Peter Obi, John Odiege Oyegun, and leaders of African Democratic Congress in Edo shows how bad insecurity has become. Politics shouldn't be war. This is scary for Nigeria. Indeed, politics shouldn't be war in any way. Arsenal Decoded says, are they trying to eliminate him? The insecurity in Nigeria is at an all-time high. With all these insecurities, elections next year will be like going to war. Well, it won't get to that level. It won't. That's whatever Arsenal thinks, we don't think that would. Onye Neuron Michael says, thank God say nobody die and Peter will be day safe. This kind thing no supposed happen for politics at all. Nigeria need peace, I beg. We all do need peace. And we also have a reaction from Dimtree. Says here, this is really funny. The people that sent them to attack Obi, Odige, and the ADC chief in Edo are really dumb. This can lead to civil war in this country. Politicians will be killed on sight if they have succeeded. I don't know who sent them, but they are really dumb for that. Oh,
all right.
My goodness. On Parallel says, believe this story at your own risk. Obi can stage and do anything to remain in the news. Peter Obi is a content creator that must keep his audience entertained. Really, on Parallel. Wow, we have various opinion of people though. And well, we are just hoping that whatever opinion this is, that there are also activities ongoing to ensure that this issue is resolved amicably. Oh. And with that talk of bringing in, of ensuring that before you get into a state, you should meet the governor.
I mean, that is just simply standard routine. And I was hoping that that shouldn't be any issue that, should be considered as political. It's sheer reference, it's sheer courtesy that when you know that you're an important figure and you're going to a different state, you simply just notify, the authorities within the state. That also makes sure that they are aware that you are around, and possibly also ensure that your security detail beefed up for events of this nature to be prevented. But we have joining us on the program the Edo State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Prince Kasim Afebua. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Good afternoon and welcome to Niger Delta today. Well, would like you to speak briefly concerning this particular incident about the security breach of Peter Obi and the dismissal from the state government in Edo with regards to the alleged political altercation.
Well, I think the ADC leadership and members should naturally be man enough to speak the truth when issues like this come to the fore, instead of trying to use this to whip up sentiments, and trying to get yourself, missing the point altogether. Because on Monday, that's 23rd of February, the APC were having a meeting at the residence of Chief Oyegu, who is their chieftain. And there are quite a number of other members who were locked out, and we saw them protesting vehemently on the rationale for locking them out. And in the process of all of these altercations, they started shooting sporadically. And now, that Monday incident was put out, and that was it. We left Benin on Monday after commissioning 54 construction equipment that we distributed to 18 local governments. And we came to Abuja to attend the APC conference. The governor, myself, and quite a number of other persons, the party chairman, party secretary, party youth leaders, so many of them. We came to Abuja. We are still in Abuja. And the next thing we had was this attack. So we quickly made inquiries and all that, called the Commissioner of Police also. And what we got was that there have been crashes that have been papered down here and there. And that crashes of Monday snowballed into the crashes of yesterday. And there was some kind of shit because they were still holding another meeting and they were locked out. And, some persons, some unknown persons, had to shoot at the gate and all of that. Even vandalized a vehicle in the process. We are surprised that the gunshots that they will shoot at the vehicle, it didn't touch the driver, didn't touch anybody. And there are quite a number of very conspiracy theories that would unravel since the governor has given the police a marching order to ensure that they carry out investigation and come up with both preliminary and other reports that will help the incident. But I can tell you for fun that it was ADC versus ADC. This had nothing to do with APC. It had nothing to do with us as a government. And we have told Peter Obi before, anytime you are coming to Benin, do us the courtesy of just informing us so that we will also provide additional security since you are a politically exposed person. But you see, every time people treat politics with this kind of admonitions, when we expect that they will speak, they will do the proper thing in line with, protocol. But they won't. We didn't even know that Peter Obi was in Benin. We didn't know. If he had extended courtesy to us, they would have given him additional security, maybe bulletproof vehicle and all of that. And wherever he goes in Benin, he will be so treated. But they want to dance to the sentiments of saying they are members of the Hamad Poloi, the ordinary Nigerians, the proletariat and all of that. It doesn't. You need to be alive, you need to be secured for you to pursue your aspirations. So we wish him well, but they should please stop calling APC to all of this.
Well, Honorable Commissioner, there has been other notable figures who've paid a visit to Edo State and other states. Even Peter Obi has been to a number of other states in the country. But having to talk of this repeated incident, the previous time he came to Edo, there was also some alleged altercation of this nature. And now we're also getting to talk about this. What specifically is, what would you maybe from your angle get to see could be the likely issue here? Because there has been visits by other notable personalities and there hasn't been security breach of this nature.
You see, the point is this. It was because of what happened in July 2025 that made the governor to say, anytime you are coming to Edo, inform us. It is not a military diktat. It's just a normal way to extend courtesy to someone who was a former governor. And he should know. We have received quite a number of persons before. Former governors come to Edo. We receive them, we give them kind of courtesies and protocol. Former president visited, Jonathan visited at some point, Obasanjo visited. We keep extending protocols to them. It doesn't take anything away. But when you want to say you associate with the ordinary Nigerian according to him and all that, you don't even inform the governor. Well, things like this is what we are trying to avoid. We don't want a situation where somebody will commit crime and you begin to hold the government responsible. Imagine the kind of scenario that it will have portrayed to the public if Ebola has hit Peter Obi on the level, given Nigerian ethnic multiplicity and the kind of crisis that was snowball from that. So please, leaders who want to preside over the country should also have the decorum to do proper things. It doesn't take away anything from them. We are not asking for too much. That's one. Secondly, Peter Obi, only God knows why he's always having crisis in Edo, because he's always having crisis in Edo. This is the second time. And we're praying that the next time we should please put their house in order. Although I know that Peter Obi is peculiar to crisis. When he was in Labour Party, they were always in crisis. They fight here, they fight today, they fight tomorrow. So they have imported or exported that crisis down to ADC now. So they have started their crisis in ADC again. Don't forget that the Labour Party that he was, they are still in court over issues of crisis. So we are not surprised. Commissioner, I think that Peter Obi should please, yes. Please stop putting us in the news for the wrong reason.
Let's dock this way. This incident happened yesterday. I'd also like to know what the security agencies are doing towards ensuring that it unravels the root cause of these attacks. Let's end like that.
You are a media platform. If you don't have correspondents in Benin, call people, let them, or call the Commissioner of Police. Their numbers are available. Call them to find out issues. You see, the media often misrepresents scenarios. And each time I interact with quite a number of persons, this is what I tell them. The media houses that have correspondents in Benin, they have gone to make inquiries from police and from even Oyegu's house and all of that. They have better information about what transpired, and they know that it has nothing to do with APC. And so that's what I expect also serious media platforms like yours to also do. Extend the courtesy of also reaching out to
Honorable Commissioner, we've done that. We're just trying to get your own perspective regarding what the government is doing.
Let me land. Government is government. Police is police. Under a democracy, it's a police state. It is the police that has responsibility to ensure that there's security of lives and property and all of that. And when incidences such as this happen, they are the one that will, give an acceptable, statutory position about them. And we have told the police to make sure that they get one or two persons arrested so that we can use that one as scapegoats or to stop all of this kind of thing. But for Peter Obi to apportion being to the opposition, it is the height of indiscipline, height of irresponsibility on his part.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Prince Kasim Afweba, for speaking to us on this issue.
Thank you.
All right, well, we'll take a breather and we'll bring you Niger Delta updates next. Stay tuned.
First on Niger Delta updates, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the South-South Development Commission, SSDC, Ms. Usoro Akpabio, has declared that the Commission's 2026 budget proposal represents a decisive shift from groundwork to measurable and accountable execution of development projects across the South-South region. Speaking on Tuesday, while presenting the proposal before the Senate Committee on SSDC, at the National Assembly, Ms. Akpabio said the budget marks a transition from institutional preparation to structured implementation aimed at delivering tangible results.
This is not merely a fiscal document. It is a coordinated regional development framework designed to translate federal intent into measurable impact across the 6 strategic states. Permit me to begin with context. The year 2025 was effectively a zero budget year for the Commission. Despite the absence of fund releases, we did not remain inactive. From onset of our appointment, we initiated structured engagements with federal government agencies in power sector, education, health, ICT, and rural electrification. We engaged youth clusters, women networks, community leaders, private sector energy operators, and development partners. The Commission operates as a coordination and a delivery platform, aligning federal priorities with state-level realities and ensuring that national policies achieve localized impact efficiently. The 2026 fiscal year sits within a politically sensitive national cycle. Historically, such periods increase economic pressure, heighten community expectations, and test institutional responsiveness, particularly in the highly contributing regions such as South-South. Development momentum cannot be paused during high-pressure periods. For this reason,
the Bayelsa State House of Assembly has confirmed the nomination of Dr. Peter Akpe as the new Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State. Dr. Akpe was nominated by Governor Doye Diri following the demise of the former Deputy Governor Lawrence Awojapo. The House presided over by the Speaker Abraham Ngobere in a unanimous decision endorsed the nomination of Dr. Akpe. Dr. Peter Akpe, who is also a pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God, appreciated Governor Doye Diri for finding him worthy to serve as the Deputy Governor in the state.
In other matters, Edo State government has rejected allegations by former Anambra State Governor and ADC party figure Peter Obi, claiming that members of his political camp were attacked in the state. The government has described his claim as false, malicious, and a misrepresentation of fact, insisting that no directive was issued by Governor Mondo Paulo or any organ of government to target members of any political party. In a press statement released by the Chief Press Secretary, Dr. Patrick Egbojele, PhD, the administration maintained that Governor Paulo's earlier comments regarding high-profile political visits to Edo were strictly guided by his constitutional responsibility as Chief Security Officer of the state.
Moving on now to other matters where 5 athletics have been disqualified from the ongoing Niger Delta Games following investigations into eligibility concerns ranging from age discrepancies to state of origin violations. So according to the official protest report, Otunla Kolade Israel of Edo State was stripped of his medals in swimming after his national identification number NIN indicated he is from Ikorodu, Lagos State, with the 5 gold medals and 1 silver he won during the games now withdrawn. In handball, John Vera and Ayimba Maria, they also state, were disqualified with documentation showing they were overage for their category.
Well, in other news, still updates on the Niger Delta Games ongoing in Edo State. There has been more disciplinary actions taken with regards to those disqualification. Well, tennis sensation Toro Bassi delivered a remarkable performance on Day 5 of the Niger Delta Games in Benin City, Edo State, clinching 2 gold medals in emphatic fashion. The 18-year-old first teamed up with Wisdom Ifeong in the mixed doubles final, staging a strong comeback after dropping the opening set to defeat Team Onduz, Wasiu and Kehinde 6-7, 6-2, 10-3. Less than an hour later, Bassi returned to the court for the women's doubles final, partnering with Favor James to secure a commanding straight sets victory, beating Edo's Suwa Nerot and Lelorle 6-3, 6-2 to complete a memorable double triumph. Meanwhile, Vice President of the Nigerian Tennis Federation, Elo Jackson, has commended the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, for organizing the games.
In all these things you see, we are trying to groom these players, but if you don't expose them internationally, if they don't play internationally, they won't go beyond this level. We have to engage them with international people. That's how they play. That's how they go into the international world. Like in tennis, for example, these players we are seeing here, they are very good players. Take them to the academy, train them, let them play tournaments with all those people. NDDC should sponsor them. The good players here should be sponsored abroad. They should go and play tournaments. When they play tournaments with their counterparts in other places, they will go places. They will start hearing Nigerian players in virtually most of the sports. That's how it is. So NDDC should go beyond what they are doing now.
Commissioner for Sports, Akwa Ibom State Paul Bassi, has commended the Niger Delta Development Commission for initiating the Niger Delta Games, describing the competition as a vital platform for youth and sports development in the region. Speaking shortly after the medal presentation for winners of the 4x400 meters mixed relay, where Akwa Ibom's quartet of Udo David, Voniso Bassi, Jacinta Andrew and Ododudo clinched gold, the Sports Commissioner thanked the State Governor for the investments in sports, which is already delivering measurable results in the state.
This concept of developing young athletes, I buy it 100%.